And we're live. Good morning. And wake the hell up. It's Taco, or today, Tehran Tuesday.
No, really, it is. No,
Um,
really, it is.
um,
Dude,
um,
we're still talking about brown people and national sovereignty. It works.
yeah, we're good. Okay. So, oh, uh, we're a little dated on this story, I'll admit, but here's the thing. Um, okay, we know the Saudi oil fields got hit. Uh, the suspicion is that it was Iran. Here's the thing that got my attention. We're going to talk a little bit about old Tulsi Gabbard's tweets, right? Because apparently Twitter is just the news now. Where the hell? What's this one? This one. Damn, almost got away from me.
Mm.
Okay, Tulsi.
Dude, no, scroll back to that workout video.
Is that what you want?
Yes.
Trump awaits. Here we go. Hey, and we can just let that run right there. All right, Tulsi, looking good. That's yeah, congratulations. Trump awaits instructions from his Saudi masters. Having our country act as Saudi Arabia's bitch is not America first. But this is the tweet that she's responding to. Saudi oil supply was attacked. There's reason to believe that we know the culprit. Like I said, we suspect Tehran. Um, are locked and loaded depending on verification, but are waiting to hear from the kingdom. By the kingdom, he does mean Saudi Arabia. But as to who they believe was the cause of the attack. Okay. The idea that he's waiting for the Saudis to give him orders, which is what she's saying here, that's very different from the country that was attacked has its own intelligence apparatus, and we're interested in what they figure out. Um, Basically, this whole awaits instructions from Saudi masters. Really? Tulsi. Tulsi. Come on now. Here's the thing about Tulsi. I watched her Dave Rubin interview. Tulsi was probably the least crazy person on the Democrat stage. But it made me green in the gills every time she started going on about, well, I'm a veteran and I know all this. She would stand there and talk like she was a frickin' war-hardened battlefield commander. She's a medic in the National Guard. Okay? Okay, yes, she's been deployed to Iraq and Kuwait. She was deployed to Kuwait the year before they rescinded the combat and hazard pay because Kuwait is not a deployment. Okay, fair. On Kandahar in Afghanistan, there is in fact a Pizza Hut and a Kentucky Fried Chicken. But that's Kandahar, man. That's a NATO base. It's full of French people. Kuwait doesn't count. Just shut up. And okay, she spent some time in Mortaritaville training locals. Guys, this is not a battle-hardened battlefield combat space owner. She talks like she's a tactical and military strategist and war genius. She's a medic. She's a glorified mechanic. What I would call a wet mechanic.
So it sounds like you're implying she might just be kind of puffing up and milking her service.
Yes. Oh, hey, veteran. She signed up. She volunteered. She took the oath. She went into. She went in, and I sincerely believe that unlike essentially every other Democrat running for office, she, despite her misguided and ignorant beliefs, beside her inability to recognize reality and understand how success and prosperity is achieved at a national and political level, I think she sincerely wants good things for her country. Um, I think she's just deeply misguided and uninformed on how things work. I do get the sense from Tulsi that she is genuine in her beliefs. That as wrong as she may be, I don't get the sense from her that she's dishonest. But this right here, I just lost any respect I had for her. No, I was never gonna vote for Tulsi Gabbard. I was never gonna vote for her. That's just a given. I'm, you know, okay. Little perspective. A few years ago, I voted for a Democrat for sheriff locally because I know the guy. Um, he's solid, and I like him. With what we've seen since the election of Donald Trump, there are not circumstances under which I would vote for a member of the modern Democrat Party. Period. I I don't like the Republican Party. They're weak. They aggravate me with their preening and pandering.
And
Um,
faux conservatism.
yeah, and the frickin' the idea that Fox News gets to call itself a conservative outlet, just ugh. They're slightly they're slightly to the right of CNN. That's like being slightly to the right of Mao. Um,
Yeah, that's not hard. See, what's funny here is I think this is a good illustration of the Trump derangement syndrome. Um, there's another country. We're talking with the country. We have a complex relationship with them that Donald Trump is trying to improve. And instead of just doing that thing where we go, hey, we're the most powerful military in the world, we can just project our force and our power. We talk to the country, hey, do you need some help? And they say, you know, let's let our internals work. We'll get back to you on that. And then Saudi Arabia, and not just Saudi Arabia, but the United Arab Emirates, they come back and they go, yeah, actually, maybe we do need some help. Could we maybe work something out? And so here's what we've worked out: a missile defense system. That's it. We're not sending thousands of troops. This is not a kinetic operation, nothing like that. This is a missile defense system.
see, right there, right there, right there, right there. You mentioned kinetic operations. Do you remember when Tulsi, with all of her tactical brilliance, was talking about the difference between kinetic and non-kinetic operations? No, because she doesn't know what the fuck that means.
Now, Chris, I think she knows what it means. She might just be playing fast and loose with the language, like a politician. Anyway, but it's a missile defense system. These countries are requesting a missile defense system. And this is important. They're requesting it. We're not pushing it on them. And it is, by definition, a defensive thing. Let's not forget, Obama pulled missile defense systems out of that section of the world. And shortly after is when Putin said, well, guess I'm taking Crimea back. A missile defense system, well, yes, it's a military asset. And yes, if you look at the world as a chessboard, it's a hell of a chess piece. it's something that can only increase overall stability. I happen to actually think this is a brilliant move. The optics are right, and in and of itself, having a missile defense system right on the border with Iran, well, that's a hell of a check on that whole nuclear weapons program thing. I mean, we're talking about a country that has basically been able to go to space for a decade now. Now, all they can do is launch satellites. Don't get it twisted. They're not on the order of us or the Chinese or
Right.
the Russians or whatever, but they have the ability to break gravity, which means they're on their way. And the closer your missile defense system is to the offending target, the higher rate of success that it's going to have. So there's nothing in this that doesn't just increase, not increase, but there's nothing in this that isn't just good for Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. But this is actually good for the entire world. It makes it more difficult for a bad actor to get their hands on a weapon and possibly trigger World War III. Like, I mean, the Trump derangement syndrome is so, if anybody else, I dare say, even if Bush was still president, and he's like, oh, yeah, it's just a nuclear missile defense system. They'd go, no, actually, I got to admit, that's a good idea. Let's be defensive. But because Trump's doing it, they can't even consider that there's value in it. And that pandering tweet, hey, we're not Saudi Arabia's bitch. I hate to break it to you, Tulsi, but I don't think Donald Trump is anybody's bitch. I don't even think Donald Trump's bitches are anybody else's bitch. That's just not the way he works.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all I've got on it.
Yeah, I realized, it's funny. This was like the biggest story in the world just a few days ago.
But
And
now
then,
we're all talking about the child. What's her name? Greta Thunberg.
uh,
Yeah, we'll
yes.
we'll get we'll get to that. We'll get to her.
And the
You know what? We
whistleblower,
may not. We may just let her slide. We may just let her slide because that poor child is already being so abused. She by these climate terrorists. She doesn't need any. She doesn't need any more ribbing from me.
yeah, I'm terrified for her future prom date, though.
No, she won't have one. Um, she'll no, she'll have a virtue signal. She'll have a not a virtue signaler. She'll end up with some little beta male, some little cuck is that has the right opinions publicly enough that she can virtue signal by dating him. It's that simple. All right.
Oh, she's gonna date a transsexual, pansexual, whatever. Yeah. Hopefully, though, with how fast the news cycle moves, the whistleblower that might not even exist will still be in the news when we talk about WTF CNN tomorrow.
Yeah, I suspect we're going to hear a little bit more about that today, and we'll have something really interesting to talk about in the morning. All right. So be safe out there, guys, and we will see you tomorrow.